Hello viewers, you are welcome to my video today. You are welcome to my channel. So today we are going to be talking on some laboratory apparatus we use in our schools and their functions. So I'll be showing us some of the laboratory apparatus. I know some of us chemistry students, we don't know some of the laboratory equipment that we use in our labs. Some of us have not seen in some of them before, and I know most of us have seen, but then we don't know the name and we don't know what it's used for. So in this video, I'll be showing you different laboratory equipments or apparatus we use for chemistry practicals, and I'll be telling you their function. So let's go. Okay, so let's start from this one. Here we have the tripod stand. Okay, it's set up with the Bunsen burner. Okay, so let me dismantle this. So this is the Bunsen burner. Okay, when you on the gas, you light it up. Then here is the tripod stand. You put it like this, and then here is the wire gauze. You keep it on top to control the heat, and this is a Bunsen burner. Okay, it's used for heating in the laboratory during experiments. We use this to heat. Okay, so the next thing is the filter paper. Here we have filter paper. Okay, you can see this is filter paper. If you want to fold it for filtration, you can fold it exactly like this, and then you fold it again. Okay, I'm not going to fold it now, all right, because that's not, I'll do a different video to show you how you can fold the filter paper when you want to use it. So but this is filter paper. Okay, we use it for filtration in the laboratory. Okay, so another thing he have here is measuring cylinder. This is a measuring cylinder. This is 250 mil measuring cylinder. You can see it, 250 mil measuring cylinder. But we have different sizes of measuring cylinder. Okay, so we have different sizes of measuring cylinder. As this one is 250 mil measuring cylinder, we also have this one, which is 20. You see it. This is 25 mil measuring cylinder, and we have bigger measuring cylinder like the 1 liter measuring cylinder. Okay, so we use measuring cylinder to measure a known volume of a solvent. Okay, when we want to prepare a reagent and we want to know a known volume of a solvent, we use measuring cylinder to measure it. All right, so another thing we have right here is the volumetric flask. This is a volumetric flask. You can see it. This is actually a 2 liter volumetric flask. It's a very big one. Okay, this is a 2000 mil volumetric flask. Okay, and we have other also like volumetric flask. We use it to measure also to measure known volume of solvents and to prepare reagents also. Okay, we use it to measure a standard solution. All right, and we have different sizes of volumetric flask. Like you can see this one too. This is smaller size. This one is 250 mil volumetric flask. You can see the cover, the volumetric flask cover. Look at it, and I want to cover it. Cover it. That's for this one. This big one also has its own cover. Okay, so this is volumetric flask. So another thing is this. You can look at this. This is a pipette. This is a pipette. Okay, so we have different pipettes. Of course, this one is 25 cm cube. This one is 25 cm cube pipette. Okay, if you look at this pipette very well, at a point here, you can see this place that my thumb is, at the point there, there is a mark. You can see the mark. There is a mark there. Okay, you can see the mark. It's clear now. Yeah, that's the mark. So that's from the on from the bottom to that particular mark is 25 cm cube, and that is what we use for measuring the volume of a base when you want to do volumetric analysis. Okay, and this is another pipette. You see it is different designs. So we have different designs of pipettes. You can see this one, which is very popular in most of our laboratories today, and then we have this one too. This one also is about this is also our 25 mil pipette. Okay, all right, so this is also another design of pipettes. So you can use either of them when you want to do your volumetric analysis to measure the volume of your base. All right, so after the pipette, we have another thing here, and this one is called the burette. This one is called the burette. You can see the burette. See the burette. So we also use it to measure the burette. We use it in measuring the volume of an acid during volumetric analysis or during titration. This is it. Most burettes are always 50 mil. Okay, the volume of most burettes are always 50 mil, always, and it is used. Burettes are used to measure the volume of acid used during titration. So that's the function of burette. Okay, so after the burette, another thing we have here is the spatula. The spatula, you can see the spatula. This is spatula. You use it to collect samples, especially the ones in solid or even semi-solid form. That's the ones in molten form. But you use this to collect samples. Okay. All right. So that's what we use spatula for. Spatula are used for collecting samples and putting it inside the test tube when you want to run tests, and so on and so forth. Okay. Also, we have here the aluminium foil. This is aluminium foil, and it is also part of what we use to run. Look at it, aluminium foil. It's part of what we use to do experiments in the laboratory, especially in an advanced laboratory. Even in our normal secondary school laboratory, a standard laboratory should always have an aluminium foil. Look at it. This is how it looks. I know some of you know this thing. Maybe some people that use it for cooking food. Okay, so this is aluminium foil, made of a foil that is made of aluminium, and it helps to maintain a constant temperature. That's one of the importance of aluminium foil. It helps to maintain a constant temperature, or it prevents the loss of heat most times. Okay, so this is aluminium foil. So after the aluminium foil, we have another thing here. You can see it. This is a hand glove, and it's used for protection. This is one of the safety guards or safety wear when you are doing a chemical experiment. This is it. You already know this thing. This is a hand glove. So you wear it when you want to perform experiments or when you want to handle chemicals. Okay, it helps to protect your hand from toxic chemical or corrosive chemical, especially if conch acid or conch base pours on your hand or touches your hand. This glove will help and protect you. So hand glove is a protective device and a part of what we use in the laboratory, in the chemistry laboratory. So yeah. So another thing is what we call the litmus paper. These are two litmus paper. This one is blue litmus paper, and blue litmus paper is used for testing for acidity of a solution, okay, of a solvent. If you put blue litmus paper into an acidic solution, it will turn red. And this is red litmus paper also for the same purpose, but we use red litmus paper to test for basicity or for alkalinity. So if you put red litmus paper into a basic solution or an alkaline solution, it will change to blue. Okay, so that is the function of litmus paper. Litmus paper is an indicator. Okay, so here we have a retort stand. Here we have a retort stand. Okay, and retort stand is used to hold the burette. Each time you are doing experiment, you use retort stand to hold the burette. When you put the burette like this, you use this clamp. You see these clamps. You use this clamp to hold the burette while performing your experiment, and that's the work of a retort stand. So here also we have reagent bottles. You can see the bottles with its cork. Okay, this is the cork of reagent bottles. Okay, after preparing reagent with a volumetric flask, you put it into the reagent bottle and keep it for use during chemical reactions. Okay, you can see this particular reagent bottle that it contains a reagent that has been prepared. Okay, so it contains a reagent that has been prepared. So these are reagent board to use for putting chemicals that we are going to use for experiment or for chemical reactions. Okay, so here we have a steering rod. Okay, here we have steering rod. Steering rod is used to steer something during chemical reactions. You use it to stir something to make sure that it is well mixed. So that's the function of stirring rod. So here we have a beaker. Okay, this is a 500 ml beaker. A 500 ml beaker. Okay, and you can see it. Beaker is used to collect reagents, especially during the titration of volumetric analysis. Beaker is used to collect the acid and equally the base. Or you can also use a round bottom flask if beaker is not available for such to collect such samples. Okay, you can also use a round bottom flask. Okay, so that is the function of a beaker. Can use it to collect samples and keep the samples. Okay, you see this is a smaller beaker. It contains even some samples. This is a 100 ml beaker. The first one I showed, which is big one, is 500 ml. This is a 100 ml beaker. Okay, right here, and right here we have the conical flask. This is a conical flask. You can see it. This is a conical flask and is also used for acid-base titrations. Okay, this is where you mix the reagents and they react. Okay, so this particular instrument, anywhere you see it, you know that that's what is called a conical flask. Okay, that's so we can see the test tubes. These are test tubes. These are test tubes. And this thing containing the test tube is what we call test tube rack. It's used to organize your test tube so that you will not be scattered and to hold your test tube. So this is a boiling tube. So there are some reagents inside the boiling tube. This bigger tube that looks, this bigger test tube, this one is bigger. It's not called test tube, but rather called it's called a boiling tube. Okay, so all of them. This is what you use basically for salt analysis. These test tubes, you can use it to heat samples and to do many other things, but use it particularly to analyze salts. So here we have sample bottles. You can see sample bottles. Sample bottles is where you store samples sample of salt or sample of any reagents, anything you want to use for a chemical reaction. You store the sample here and cover it very well. Then you label it to know what is contained. You label it to know what is contained inside. So we call this sample bottle. Okay, so this one is called a forceps. This is called a forceps, and we use it to pick up things instead of using your bare hand or using any other thing. The thing might be hot or it might not even be hot, but anything you want to pick something, you don't use your hand, you use the forceps. For example, I want to pick this spatula and I cannot use my hand, so I use the forceps and pick it up. I use my forceps, I pick it up, and then I drop it. So this particular instrument is what we call the forceps. Okay, this is forceps. All right, so this one is the tape. Okay, masking tape. This one you use it to label bottles. Like you see this particular sample bottle that is, you use the tape to label it. Okay, you tape it on it and then you use either pen or whatever ink you want to use to label it. So that's the function of this tape. You always find it in chemistry lab. Okay, so this is where we are going to draw the curtain for today. Okay, so if you are new to our channel, please subscribe and share this video, and then always check out to see if we have new videos. But the best way to do it is on your notification button, so that any video we post you can get first-hand information on it. All right, so see you in our next video. Bye.